Okay, so he released this on his main channel, and I appreciate Jidion just for being outspoken and bold about his faith. I've been very intrigued by his new channel and the stuff he's been releasing. I'm not in full agreement with a lot of his theology, if I'm honest with you guys, a lot of the law keeping and that kind of stuff, right? I think it's a bit much. But anyone who is willing to walk away from, their platform and money, I don't have to fully agree with them to say, man, that's good. It seems like God's doing something.
It's all gone.
All the videos are gone.
Nothing left.
That's crazy.
God did.
Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Jidion, a.k.a. Gideon, a.k.a. DeMarcus Cousins III, a.k.a. I don't know what other names I have, but I know I have a lot. I know a lot of you guys thought my last video was gonna be my last video, and I thought that as well. But with the big change, as you guys can see on the channel, I felt like I owe you guys an explanation. I scourged the earth of all Jidion content. And
so he scorched the earth of all of his content. He goes on to explain scripturally why pranking is not good, which I didn't disagree with. I do feel like there were some interesting videos he did that aren't necessarily in opposition with his new Christian worldview, specifically his video where he visits the most racist town in America. I don't know why that's incongruent with being a Christian, like the docu-series styles of videos that he's done, right? I mean, like there's sus stuff in the video, but like, yeah, the theme wasn't crazy. Yeah, the content, yeah. So like, I think there's a place where he could have continued creating similar style videos if he wanted to, that don't all have to be prank videos, right?
And I know a lot of you guys are gonna be mad, bro. I mean, my DMs were, I had a lot of mean comments in my DMs about me just saying how I'm stopping making content. So the fact that I took away the content, I can only imagine how mad a lot of you guys would be. But this explanation isn't for the people that are mad. This is for people that are confused, for the people wondering. And I feel like you guys deserve a clear, very clear and detailed reason. Why did you delete all your videos, Jidion? I would say the main thing that people have hit me with since I've given my life back to Christ is, why can't you follow Christ and make content? I mean, you're over here making millions upon millions of people happy. Isn't that of God?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Why can't you follow Christ and make content? That's a very good question. I mean, he is making content. It's just, I think he's trying to figure out the parameters and the boundaries of what kind of content can he make now that he follows Christ. It's a bit of a different question. And just because your content's making people happy, that doesn't necessarily mean that how you're making content or what type of content you make is aligned with God's heart for you in your content, right? So there is some tension there, some good tension there.
Isn't it a godly thing to put a smile on people's faces and to make them happy? And while bringing happiness to the world is of God, you can also bring happiness to the world through wickedness. You can bring happiness. Yeah,
that's a good question. I don't know why he's not using his big channel. Or maybe he will. Maybe his big channel will be more videos like this, where he's outside and he's kind of talking and trying to explain things, but he's not, maybe he's not posting his Bible study stuff here. It's on the Gideon channel.
To the world by serving the devil, Not all happiness is from God. And I know for a fact, there's no Christian in their right mind that can make the case to say that the content that I was making was of God. And I'm not gonna even try to make that case, And, if I'm gonna truly give my life over to God, I gotta also take out the wickedness that I put into the world. So why did I delete all of my prank videos? Well, let's look up the definition of the word prank.
I'm not gonna lie. His WNBA video, I thought was funny. Jidion, am I not as much of a Christian for thinking that video was hilarious? Where he goes to the WNBA game and falls asleep on the front row. He did it several times. I thought that was hilarious. I thought the going to the most racist town in America was a good video. I've maybe watched 3 videos, so I didn't keep up with all of the shenanigan videos, but those 2 I thought were decent videos. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched that many of his videos, if I'm honest with you guys. I only watched his podcast clips and the stuff that's happened since he's been more overt about his faith.
And then let's hop into the scriptures and see what God thinks about pranks. Because he actually did say some things about that. I didn't even know about them. Brother Josh showed me, but God did say some things about pranks. So this is from collinsdictionary.com. Prank, a noun, a mischievous trick or joke, especially one in which something is done rather than said. If you do a trick on somebody, you have to deceive them. And we all know who is the master and the king of deception. That's Satan himself. So every time that I'm doing a prank or doing a prank on a person, I am literally practicing what the master prankster himself, Satan, did. Oh, you're dragging it, you're stretching it, but I'm gonna show you guys. Just stick with me. We're gonna go to Proverbs chapter 26 and start at verse 18. Like a madman who throws flaming darts and deadly arrows, so is the person who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. So Solomon is comparing playing practical jokes on people in the name of good fun as a madman shooting flaming arrows in the air. So basically he's saying a person that goes around pranking people is the same type of energy of a madman just going around killing people. And when you look at my content, bro, it's really not far off. I mean, I did a lot of crazy stuff in my videos, but the one thing I think that haunts me the most is one of my most popular pranks was whenever I snuck into the Gatorade HQ and I deceived the security guards and lied and said that I was working there and that I was part of a commercial team. And I got the prank done, got millions of views off of it. So many people giving me props. But what a lot of you guys don't know is 3 people lost their jobs because of me.
Yeah. Don't do those types of videos. Listen, am I the only one that like we I don't want to say prank each other, but we play around in the house like with my family, right? Like me and my son, I'll hide behind the door and scare him. He'll try to scare me. We do that sort of stuff. I don't know if that's clearly he's not talking about the same thing, right? Clearly he's not talking about the same thing. I remember one year, me and my wife were dating just before we got, were we married already? And we used to go to the beach every Sunday. And one year in particular, I didn't know this, but it was April Fool's. And my wife said she was going to use the bathroom and took my car and moved it like several blocks away and parked it somewhere else. And then I come out and my car was gone. And she let me think that my car was gone for a good 5 minutes. Like I thought I just got towed. Like I thought I got towed. I thought my car got stolen. That was a pretty hilarious prank, if you ask me, in hindsight. I don't know if I would fully agree that is satanic or demonic or something, under the spirit of Satan, under the guise of Satan, right? I still think that's funny. That's a memory we'll always have. It was not devious and mischievous and harmful to me. It was scary at the time, but I don't know, right? So yeah, I don't know if I 150% agree. I think if he feels this way about his content, then by all means, follow your conscience, Jidion. However, I don't know if I 150% agree of this in an interpersonal setting amongst family and friends and playing around and having a good time. I think prank culture in general is pretty dangerous. We've seen the guy earlier this year, or was it last year, that got popped because they were pranking somebody and harassing somebody, and the dude was a delivery driver, and he had just had his wits end, snapped, and ended up, pulling out a firearm and shooting this dude, and then he ended up in the hospital. So I understand that aspect of it, but I'm curious, how certain is he about what he's saying here, if that makes sense? And in chat, I'm curious to hear from you guys. Like when I tell the story of my wife pranking me like that, y'all think that's sinful? And do you guys think Jidion is saying that's sinful?
Because I lied and was saying that I worked there, I got 3 security officers fired that had been working there for years, all because I wanted to play a practical joke, all because I wanted to entertain you guys. And that's evil. That truly is evil.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
To those people that I got fired, I'm sorry. I truly am. In Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23, it says, "It is a sport to a fool to do mischief, and of understanding hath wisdom." King Solomon, the most wisest man to ever live, is saying right here that a person that just does mischief for fun is a fool. And that's how I make my bread and butter, is I just like to do mischief for fun.
Yeah.
And when you actually look at the word prank, a similar or synonym word for it is mischief. So mischief and prank mean the same thing. But once I truly submitted myself to Jesus Christ, once I truly started reading his word, I got wisdom and I got understanding. And, with this understanding, I would be a fool to go back into my old ways and keep on causing mischief, keep on pranking people, keep on ruining people's day just for my financial gain. I'll be a fool to do that. And
yeah, that's good. That's good. And again, I'm maybe I'm just ignorant on his content. Was all of his content mischievous and deceitful pranking, or did he have any other content? I'm genuinely asking those of you guys that have kept up with his, his social media arc.
Not only would I be a fool, but I would be evil, especially with this understanding that I have. If I want to call myself a child of God, I got to conduct myself like a child of God.
Amen.
Can't be lukewarm out here, Can't be half for the world and half for God. God wants all of us, not just half of us. And so when I came to that realization, that was catalyst of me knowing that I was gonna have to stop doing pranks and eventually wipe as much as I could off the internet that I posted out there. In Ephesians chapter 5, starting at verse 3, Paul says,
I don't get the aesthetic of this. Like he's at like a kid's playground. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I'm glad you're outside though, Jidion. That's dope.
Sexual immorality and any impurity or greed should not even be heard of among you as proper for saints. Obscene and foolish talking or crude joking are not suitable, but rather giving thanks. Paul's letting us know right here, we shouldn't be saying dirty jokes or sexual innuendos or anything like that. And
that's what she said jokes.
If you've been a subscriber for me long enough, you know that's all I was about. Like literally, that was all I was about. And I mean, for prime example, all I would do would just make sus or sexual jokes.
What you guys do?
Oh, right now.
Who? Oh, don't put me on a would you? You got some hot ladies?
This man didn't even edit it. Yeah, it's funny. I made a video when he was talking about Logan Paul, and I said, this is a couple months ago, right before he had this pivot, and I said, hey man, like Jidion's out here with the stuff and the raw branding, and you can't really be doing both. I remember saying that, and then like a week after he came out and was, he kind of switched up.
I would make merch hinting at homosexuality.
Leave the store now.
Like we can kiss, like I'm down.
Dude, stop filming now.
Bro, I'm down. We can
Call
kiss.
League City Police, please.
It's not gay, it's homosexual. And I would make merch
Oh my God.
promoting fornication and unprotected.
Yeah, I think that was by far this whole raw thing was by far, because that's an actual thing. Like there are people who are being sexually immoral and debaucherous, and then there's people that are like on this energy, like they don't know safe sex, no trying to avoid, like they're, you know what I mean? And that to me was by far like this is next level, So I'm glad that he cleaned all this stuff up.
Huh? No hot dog bun in the bedroom.
Oh my God.
I have this little thing where I don't like condoms and I don't use them.
Well, you put it on and then tuck it off.
Because I'm a professional.
Oh no!
And he basically gave me like a big shout out on national TV. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna pull up to you. Or you had Xavier, how long would you say you were a professional for?
Since I lost my virginity.
Oh, Jidion. Yeah, I get it. This man was out here causing... He was causing all kinds of babies out of wedlock. I get it. Jidion, I feel you, brother.
And I would literally have kids always run up to me to this day, still. Just the other day, I had a kid come up to me. Couldn't have been more than 13, 14 years old, telling me, oh, I'm a professional or oh, I'm...
Darkness.
And now with these new set of eyes, I just know as an influencer, I felt this generation horribly, I did not contribute for the positive.
Wow.
I contributed for the negative. I contributed for the enemy. And so to all the youngins and even the older people who I influence with my jokes and my perverted thoughts, I'm sorry. In Galatians chapter 5.
Come on, man. Shout out to Jidion, brother. Shout out to that man. That's amazing. I'm glad he took this stuff down, and I think it's good. I think it's good. I think he followed his conviction. He followed the Holy Spirit. He took this stuff down. I think that's awesome. I'm not super deep into his content. I've seen a handful of videos, right? Some of them were sus. A few of them I was like, oh, that's interesting, and that's huge. We see according to the Bible that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask him to move on my behalf. And two, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when he answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used for my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.